Hey friends, welcome to eSports, your go-to for all things football. From wild transfer rumors to behind-the-scenes drama, we've got it all covered. Now let's jump into the news. And today, we're going back to the beginning, before the trophies, before the glory, before the world knew the name Zinedine Zidane. We're telling the story of a boy with no money, no spotlight, just one broken pair of shoes, and a dream bigger than the streets he walked on. Zinedine Zidane was born in 1972 in La Castellana, a rough, working-class neighborhood on the edge of Marseille, France. His parents were Algerian immigrants. They had 5 children. No luxuries, no vacations, just survival. Zidane grew up surrounded by poverty, crime, and tension. But he also grew up with something else: football. There was a small concrete square between the apartment blocks, no grass, no goals, no refs, just chaos. But to young Zizou, it was everything. That was his pitch, his escape, his school. There's a story his first coach used to tell, one that defines the soul of Zidane. One day, Zinedine showed up to training with shoes so worn out, they barely held together. The sole was flapping, the fabric torn, his socks visible. His coach, Jean Varad, looked at him and said, "Zinedine, why don't you throw those away?" Zidane looked him dead in the eye and said, "Because I still have dreams to chase." That answer stuck. It wasn't just about football, it was about fire, it was about belief. Coach Varad didn't say anything, he simply went out the next day and bought Zidane a new pair of boots. They weren't flashy, but they were clean, whole, and full of silent promise, and Zinedine, he never forgot. From there, the rise was relentless. At 14, he joined Cannes. At 17, he made his professional debut. By 24, he was the most elegant midfielder in Europe. But Zidane never forgot those streets or those shoes. In 1998, he gave France its first ever World Cup, scoring twice in the final against Brazil. In 2000, he won the Euros. In 2002, he scored that volley for Real Madrid, one of the greatest goals in Champions League history. Then, as a coach, he delivered an impossible feat: 3 consecutive UCL titles with Real Madrid. But through it all, the headlines, the Ballon d'Or, the fame, he stayed grounded. Because he knew where he came from, and what it cost to rise above it. Let's talk numbers and legacy. 125 career goals as a midfielder, 108 caps for France. World Cup winner 1998, Euro winner 2000, Champions League winner 2002. Ballon d'Or 1998, FIFA World Player of the Year 3x. UCL winning coach, 3 years in a row. But Zidane's true greatness, it wasn't just in the goals he scored. It was in the silence, the class, the calm storm behind his eyes. He didn't scream, he didn't dance. He just moved, like poetry in motion. Today, Zidane is retired from coaching. But he remains a symbol of elegance, of strength, of humble greatness. From the streets of Marseille to the lights of the Bernabeu. From torn shoes to golden boots. Zidane's journey isn't just a football story, it's a human story. So now we ask you, what's your Zidane moment? That volley, that headbutt, that look of calm before the storm. Tell us in the comments, we want to hear your story. Welcome to eSports, where football legends live on. And today, we turn back the years to the sun-drenched streets of Garca, Brazil. Before the Screamers, before the Galacticos. Before the world feared his left foot, we're telling the story of a boy. Built like a tank, quick as lightning, and born with a cannon in his leg. Roberto Carlos was born in 1973. In a poor family, in a country where football was religion. And talent was currency. He didn't grow up with luxury. He grew up with hunger, with a dream, and a deadly left foot that could bend physics. At Palmeiras, he broke through. Fast, fearless, electric, but Europe was calling. Inter Milan came first. But they didn't get it, they wanted a defender. Roberto Carlos was more than that, he was a force of nature. Then came Real Madrid, and that's where the legend truly began. Galacticos, he was the original, before Ronaldo, before Beckham. There was Carlos, bombing down that left flank like a fighter jet. He wasn't just a left back. He was an attack dog with no off switch. He scored screamers from impossible angles, free kicks that broke science. That one goal versus France in 1997, still being studied by physicists. He had the speed of a winger, the stamina of a machine, and the rage of a warrior. What did he win? Everything. Champions League, La Liga, World Cup, Copa America. He made defending look fun and attacking look deadly. He played 527 games for Real Madrid, scored 70-plus goals, and redefined what a fullback could be. For Brazil, he was untouchable. He and Cafu ran the wings like madman, 2000 to World Cup. Untouchable, he didn't just defend, he launched counterattacks with one thunderous touch. He wasn't perfect, but he was relentless. Let's talk numbers and legacy. 125 caps for Brazil. 3x Champions League, 2000 to World Cup winner. Over 100 career goals as a defender. One of the greatest free kick takers ever, but Carlos's legacy, it's in the fear. The way goalkeepers prayed when he stepped up. The way defenders panicked when he surged forward. Today, Roberto Carlos is retired. But his name still echoes through the halls of football. Because he didn't play like a left back. He played like a storm, from the streets of Brazil to the throne of Madrid. From the underdog to the untouchable, this is Roberto Carlos. The man who turned physics into fantasy. What's your Roberto Carlos moment? That free kick against France, that thunder run in El Clasico, that rocket from the touchline. Tell us in the comments, and let's honor the king of power and pace. And if you felt that fire, like, comment, and subscribe to eSports, because some players shoot, others explode. Roberto Carlos didn't follow rules. He broke them.